Morning guys. So I've just been prepping to take the gearbox out here. Just dropped the front drive shaft off and took the rear one out. Cracked all the bell housing bolts and taken the bottom ones out. So yeah, basically hook up the crane, pull those fronts out, throw the bell housing bolts out, and out she comes. So that was a pretty good guess with where to put the sling. I was going to do a choke with the longer sling, but it was too long, so just a bit of a, I suppose, a basket with that one, but that's pretty even. I'm pretty happy with that. Just need to set it down on a little dolly. So next job's to get the engine out. It's funny, there's been all the radiator coolant would leak out. You can see sort of the rust on the diff there because this was a real bad joint. I actually just grabbed it and it just snapped off. Look how rusty and fucked it is. Well, that's not surprising. Well, this thing's just spent its life as a water card on a farm for a fair while now, so it's probably just had random tap water or rainwater or whatever filling it up, which is, you know, not too bad if it's pure, but not the best for it. I doubt it would have had the luxury of antifreeze with some corrosion inhibitors. I've drained the oil, and I did know that it was over full, but I went running for the second bucket there. She was chock-a-block. I did know that, as I said, I didn't know it was over full looking on the dipstick, but it wasn't too far up. But yeah, there's a huge amount of oil in there. Like, I think it's only meant to be around 10 litres. I'll have to double check the exact capacities, but there's 12 in that, and then there's, yeah, easily a fair few in that bucket there. So I'm not really sure where it's come from. There wasn't the telltale, like I did check, there wasn't any, there's not any water in it that I can see. Obviously it's not milky. The water wasn't sitting at the bottom. The engine's been sitting there for months, and it was just oil that came straight out, but it's quite thick and really sludgy sort of thing. So realistically, this is pretty old oil. Like, it's probably been in there for years and years and years, and just got coked up. But as I said, these are sort of the things that are sort of expected to find along the way. Just because obviously it's been sitting around not doing much work for a long time. It hasn't been registered, hasn't been on road. It's probably just started every few months and moved from A to B. So anyway, it'll be good once you get the engine apart a little bit, have a bit of a closer look at some of the conditions of things. Hopefully not too much internal damage, but I'll have to do a fair bit of flushing out and checking over the galleries of the coolant system, just with the way that water's a bit rusty. All right, welcome back. Time to pull the engine out. Different day to film some of the prep for this, but this morning I've just pulled the radiator out, which is just sits in those two mounts at the bottom and has some cross braces that go back to the chassis. Got the exhaust off, had to cut one of those bolts. Took a fuel line off, and then I started attacking these engine mounts. This one goes through to a bolt on the other side, so I couldn't get onto that from the inside of the chassis, so I've just taken the two bottom bolts out of this where it goes to the back of the sort of bell housing there, and I'll leave that one in and take that out. But the others are pretty straightforward and came straight out, or loosened anyway. So basically it'll be chain it up and then pull it out. I've gone through and double checked, I've taken all the ground straps off and those things, so shouldn't have any hang-ups on the way out. She's out. Wasn't too bad. I think I'm maxing out the lift on the crane there. I've only got it back pretty conservatively on the 750 kilo pin. I think they only weigh maybe 300 or something, if that. Probably less, to be honest. But anyway, I'll probably go out one more peg for the extra reach next time. But yes, she's out. Now it's time to get it on the stand, and then we'll have a bit of a look around the chassis there. so engine's out. Everything's looking pretty good over here actually. Now that I've got access to everything, I'll have to pull it out of the garage slightly and get the hose into it and clean it out. There's just a bit of dirt and shit in there, but in general it's looking fairly good. I haven't found any massive bits of rust or anything yet. I'm sure I will. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, the engine. I did look it up, yeah, it's just over 300 kilos apparently, so that doesn't surprise me. I'll have to be a bit careful moving around that stand. It's rated for 450 kilos or whatever, but it's been a straight six quite long. That's a fair bit of weight, like a decent moment on the where it's bolted in there, so just always be a little bit careful. Hey guys, bit of behind the scenes here as I'm just editing one of these videos. The new software's going well. I think it gives me a lot more control over audio, and it's not nice to just say sit here on the laptop for a couple of hours playing around with it rather than trying to do it on my phone previously on iMovie, which was pretty crap. And that's, you get the quality of video that your sort of editing software gives you, as you guys have watched. So hopefully the quality increases over the next few videos. I've noticed that I need to get a lot better at intros and outros and kind of, completing the storyline. I usually just go down to the garage and just start filming, and especially if it's over a few days, I sort of forget to put that information in there. It sort of abruptly starts and ends. So hopefully I can get a lot better at that, and there's some better quality videos that I'll make over the next few episodes. In general, things are going quite well. It's almost a year since I've owned the 40, and by that year it'll pretty much be fully stripped, but it's going very slowly, but that's how it's going to be. I don't have all the time to be, the motivation and the time, I suppose, to spend every single night on it. I've got other interests, and that was the point of it. Is it wasn't something that I wanted to go guns blazing on. It's just take the time and go slowly, and hopefully do it right, which I've got a lot to learn, which hopefully the videos in the future will be more about that, my learning and learning how to do things correctly, and about some of the idiosyncrasies of the 40 series, and hopefully those videos are quite helpful for people and educational. But yeah, it'll be good to see how it goes going forward. But next step's really to get some of those panels down to blast, and then just start looking at getting blasted and painted the chassis and all those sorts of things, start ordering patch panels and whatever, and then a bit of mechanical work, rebuilding axles and things, and having a bit of an investigation into what needs to be done on the engine, and what I should focus my time and efforts on. So there's some exciting things coming up. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the videos, and I suppose I'll see you the next time I make one. Thanks guys.